To be a feminine is another thing. To be a bad boy is a whole other thing. But to be a feminine,
Hey, y'all. Hey, everybody. Welcome. Welcome. We got to talk about it. So, we got to talk about it. Joshua, we see you first. We have put your name in the drop for what we're giving away on Friday. So, you get here first and say first. We got you. I have a box going and we're doing a giveaway on Friday night, or probably Friday night, because Friday night is lit. Every night's lit over here. But probably Friday night, we're going to do a giveaway and your name is in the bucket. So, you come here first and you say you first and stay throughout the entire live, then you go in the bucket for our giveaway. And it's usually, we give cash away, obviously, around here. So, yeah. How's everybody? Happy Monday, top of the week. Everybody have a good day today. I know it's very hot outside here where I'm at, but still a beautiful day. And I'm just excited about being here with you guys tonight. So thank you again for being here. As always, hit the like for us because it's lit over here, and good vibes only. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and also become a member. Become a member to this channel. And let me make sure I write it down now, Joshua, because I will forget. Got it. So yeah, as you guys, and I'll as people come in, I'll continue to remind you guys that if you're first outside of myself and Montana, if you're here first in Harlem, outside of us, you guys can enter into, but Harlem can if you want to. If you're here first, we're going to see it and we'll write your name down. We're going to put you in the pot on Friday, and Friday we're doing a giveaway. So hopefully you guys have cash apps. So when we do the cash, you get it. You might get some merch, Black Link merch. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what we're going to do. Anyway, I'm going to give people just a few more minutes. Let me go ahead and drop the link. We are dropping the link again tonight for anybody that wants to come up and speak with us as we talk about the Diddy's denial. We're also going to talk a little bit about Carlos's response to his interview with Chantel and why we're discussing it. All right, Joshua, got your Cash App on point. That's good. That's a good thing. And I hope everybody do. But if people don't, some people don't have Cash App, and if that's the case, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out, or we got all kinds of stuff. We got merch. We got a brand new website coming up, so you guys can go and pick from the website to see if you win. Like, we'll have different things. So I appreciate it. I got my information is, hey, we got you. If you are the winner, we will definitely make sure we stick to our word. So what we say, we do. Okay. Let's go ahead and I think what I want to do is just give 30 more seconds to give people an opportunity to get in. I see people coming and going, but that's okay. It's usually how it happens. But in 30 seconds, we're going to start. And our first topic of discussion is going to be Carlos, because it's going to be brief. And then we'll get into Diddy and anything else that might come up tonight. So let me get myself ready over here. Okay, give me one more second. Let me remove that. Okay. So you guys, listen. We're asking. I'm glad she put that Harlem put that up there. If you're here and you have not become a member, we're doing a lot of networking, and so I got some connections. People's schedules are just really busy. I have some yeses, so we're gonna go ahead and start. We got enough members that we're gonna start doing these members only channels shows, that the exclusives are going to the members only channels, because our members deserve to get the information first, or whatever we're doing for that particular day. So don't forget, become a member as well. You can choose any level you want. And then also hit the like. It's a free way to support the channel. It keeps us in the algorithm, and we're going up, y'all. We're almost at 10K, and we're going to keep going. So I appreciate you. Couldn't do it without you. And then also subscribe to the channel. It's important to have our subscribers as always. And then we have our wonderful mods. I don't know if I say it enough, but I appreciate my mods. Like, they're my family. My mods, my family. I appreciate y'all, all of y'all, everybody that comes here. I appreciate it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. The link again is in the chat. Come on up and chat with me. So Carlos King. If you guys don't know who he is, he's a producer of reality TV shows. He has his own show on YouTube. That's really a good show. I like Carlos King a lot. I don't know about other people and how they feel about Carlos, but I like Carlos. And so anyway, as you guys know, he caught a lot of flack behind that Chantel Christie interview, because Chantel, in a lot of people's eyes, disrespected her mom on Love and Basketball Basketball Wives LA, and by getting physical with her mother on national TV. And also, I'm always say, allowing other people to be disrespectful to her mother in her presence. And so he got a lot of flack by that. So he felt a need. I don't know how he doesn't do that often, where he comes back and kind of, responds to the interviews that he does. But he came back and he responded to that interview with Chantel. The first thing that stood out to me is that, and he's right about this. Like I get it, but I was just like, why do it anyway? Because that's how I was feeling. That's how I still feel. But he was like, I'm a journalist, and so I'm not going to get on there however I'm feeling and with my guests and make them feel uncomfortable. And I get that. That is right. And he has to stay non-biased and in the middle. And so his job as a journalist, my job as I come out here and host and have guests, is to make my guests feel comfortable and just ask the questions. And by asking all the questions, then maybe we get what we want from that guest that we're looking for, right? Maybe we don't. So he was just like, yeah, it's out there. His response is out there. You gotta go check him out. Shout out to Carlos. And so he was just like, I can't tell her who. He was like, who am I to tell her you disrespected your mom, you was wrong or whatever, even if he was feeling like that. The second thing he said is that when he had that interview with her, he kind of, it took him back to the little boy Carlos, right? And what he went through and experienced with his father. Um, as we know, Carlos, hey Anthony, as we know, Carlos is openly gay, and to each his own. Like I love Carlos, and so his father, had told him to stop acting like a little girl when he was little, and that offended him, and it took him to like age 35 or whatever it was to approach his dad and how he was feeling. And so they're in a really good space. But he was like, he was just like, he was like, I wasn't there whenever Jackie and Chantel was having their issues, but and so I can't speak to that. I can only speak to me. And so he said he got a lot of DMs that was like, I just don't like, I now do not like Chantel. I do not respect Chantel for the way Chantel did her mother. She was wrong. She was there. He said he got a ton of those. But he also got, and that's what our point is, he also got messages saying, I'm a Chantel. I can feel what she's saying. And I get that, right? So you're gonna get both sides of the fence, whatever it is, whatever topic you're talking about, whatever situation. And so with all due respect to Carlos and to his defense, he said that she reached out to him. He said he always does his research, and he felt that he needed to allow her in that space to get it out what she needed to say. And so, he did that. So I was just like, for me, I guess I apologize for Carlos, right? I apologize to Carlos for saying, why did you even have that interview? Because it sucked. Like not sucked. Hey, Shannon. Oh, wait a minute. Let me put my glasses on so I'm not saying it. I can't see. Sharon. Hey, Sharon Green. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I love Carlos, right? And so I apologize to him for saying that, because he's getting people on his show that are respectable people that he feels like that he respects, getting their perspective, their side of the story firsthand, right? And he has great commentary. But I still do stand by my opinion on Chantel, and that is she disrespected her mom on national TV. She came in her mom's space and put her hands on her mother. Whether people, think that it was okay for her to act like that, that's fine. And then I have my opinion. People have their own opinion. So I really wanted to come just real briefly and talk about how Carlos was feeling and how he responded. And I respect him even more for doing that, because like people side eye like, Carlos, for real. Like, she already said all that stuff. Why do we need to hear that? But in essence, whatever she had to talk about, even though a ton of people were feeling that way, there were still a ton of people that, by her telling her story and being who she is and saying what she said, helped them, or they could relate to her. So I had to come and just kind of talk about that. So anyway, Sharon, thank you for being here and joining us tonight. Again, I hope that you hit the like. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We also have our membership open, so you can become a member, and we will have exclusive rooms for members only coming up. So just FYI for that, if you'd like the opportunities out there. Now let's get into the meat and potatoes of this. The meat and potatoes. When did he respond? So the video showed up today. So he responded. It's out. He went live and oops, no. So oh dang it, it went off. Where's my anyway? He responded today, and you can just go out there and find it. And I think it's something like my response to the Chantel Christie interview or something like that. But you can find it. It was really good, you know. So as the host of Black Link Reporting Media, and then I do other things over. I have guests over on Instagram as well. By the way, go follow us on Instagram too, Black Link Mag. There are several, but mine is Black Link Mag with a wine glass with my logo in it. So Black Link Mag, go follow us. But anyway, and I have guests over there. And at the end of the day, that's the truth. Like, you as a host or as an interviewer, you have to stay in the middle, and you can't make your guests come on and feel real crappy, you know. So I had to just like understand, you know, what he was talking about. So what do you guys think about that follow Carlos? And then what is your, like, are you looking at it differently now? Are you looking at Chantel differently? I'm going to say that if I have to still be honest, I'm not looking at her differently for what she did at all. I'm just looking at the reason. Now I see why Carlos brought her on. I see what he's saying. I can relate to that. Okay, but are you back now? You want to try to come back now? I don't know what happened. Hey, Beauty, is me. So, Beauty, we was talking about Carlos's response to his interview with Chantel, and you know how he felt about that interview. If you want to come up real quick and talk about it, you don't have to turn your camera on. But again, I had to understand. I don't know if you saw his response, but I had to understand where he was coming from as a host myself. So I just want to know how you guys was feeling about that. Like, do you look at Chantel differently now? No, I don't. But do you understand like his point of view and why he felt like he needed to have her on when she reached out to him? He did have an interview with Jackie as well. And when he had the interview with Jackie, she kind of talked about her experiences in her childhood. And he was like, and I absolutely understood her perspective. So, you know, I think he's right. So that was that. Anything you want to say on that, Harlem?
No, I didn't know that he responded to the interview that he did. I have to go look for it so I can listen to it.
Yeah, go listen to it, because I was like, let me listen, because I want to know really what he had to say, because I knew that he definitely felt it, because people was making him feel it in that chat. You couldn't keep up with the comments in that chat, baby. They was letting Chantel have it, including myself, in that chat. And so then he got DMs from it, you know, a lot from each side of the coin, right? So gotta go listen to it. Go check it out. Beauty says, my feelings will never waver. Can't keep blaming parents for your unhealed adult behavior. Seek help. And that's exactly what I said, Beauty. I understand him as a journalist. He was like, I just have to ask the questions. Like, I can't make her come here and make her feel crazy. But at the end of the day, I'm not changing how I feel about her actions. I will say that, and how she did her mom. Ming Lee just did a YouTube video saying her apology still stands to Jackie. Yes, I didn't see it. I saw that she did it, but I didn't listen to it. But she's like, I still mean that because I didn't get to see it firsthand because they're shooting, so they don't see it until like we do. And so Ming Lee, because all of them was going in on Jackie. So Ming Lee was just like, you know what, Jackie, I'm sorry. I did not know. I did not know. I didn't understand it. I didn't see it. She just came and told us what she told us, and everybody went in on Jackie. So there you have it. That's all I really wanted to talk about with as far as Carlos was concerned. And so go look at it, Harlem. You guys go check Carlos's response out. Carlos was concerned. Let me turn this down. All right. So moving on to Diddy. You guys, P. Diddy. And before we move on to P. Diddy, I know I might sound like a broken record, but I'm trying to get it in. I'm trying to get the word out. On Friday, we are putting names in the pot. We are putting names in the pot for a giveaway on Friday. So Joshua showed up. Did I say his name right? He showed up first. And so his name is in the pot for the drawing. We're going to do a drawing instead of the numbers because unless it's a lot of people, we can do numbers. But when it's not a lot of people, it just takes forever. But there's going to be a drawing on Friday. When we go live, if you're first one here to be here, we put it in there and you stay through the entire live. And then also we ask that you hit the live because that keeps us in the algorithm. We ask that you subscribe and become a member so that you can be in our exclusive rooms. Let's just no further delay. P. Diddy, Sean Combs was denied bail officially today by Judge Subramanian. So let's talk about that. As we, discussed again, I don't think that we really got to a point where we were really saying hardcore that the judge, I went through far more worse things that I felt. So maybe we learned to forgive. And I think before I go, I got to say this to Beauty. Beauty, you're right. I think that if you harbor on things and you keep them, they keep you stuck. You've got to forgive. You don't have to forget, but you got to forgive and you got to move on for your own self-healing, for your own peace, right? And she's just not. And when she sat in that chair, she made me feel a way about her. And that's just how I feel. So anyway, we never came to a set. I said that I can't really read Judge Subramanian because I just don't know what he's thinking, what he's going to feel, what he's going to say, and that he may or may not agree to the bail request to get bond. And so let's talk about the denial. We'll read it. It's only 2 pages, so I can handle the 2 pages. We'll read it and then we'll talk about it. And I'll give you some of my commentary around it and what I feel. No accountability at all. Okay. I'm gonna keep quick going back there, but right. Take accountability. That's exactly what we was talking about last night with P. Diddy. Take some accountability for the things that you did do that was wrong. Just for the things you did that is wrong. Own it. Okay, so this is his response today. This is the judge's response today. Aaron Subramanian, United States District Judge. Defendant Sean Combs renews his request for bail pending his sentencing. On this application, Combs doesn't contest that detention is mandatory for his crime of conviction. He relies solely on the limited exceptions to mandatory detention, where 1, the court finds by clear and convincing evidence that the person is not likely to flee or pose a danger to the safety of any other person or the community if released. And there are 2 exceptional reasons why such person's detention would not be appropriate. Exceptional reasons exist where there is a unique combination of circumstances giving rise to situations that are out of the ordinary. United States versus all those cases. And the statutory framework creates a presumption in favor of detention that places a plainly substantial burden of proof on the defendant seeking release. As for the risk of flight or danger, Combs fails to meet his burden by clear and convincing evidence for the reasons set forth on the record. at the July 2nd, 2025 hearing, increasing the amount of the bond or devising additional conditions doesn't change the calculus given the circumstance and heavy burden of proof that Combs bears. At trial, the defense conceded that defendant's violence is his personal relationships, in his personal relationships. This type of violence, which happens behind closed doors, is impossible to police with conditions. On this basis alone, Combs' application is denied. Let's just talk about that part really quick. So what the judge is saying here is that we can set up all kinds of conditions and give you all sorts of rules and regulations if we were to allow you to get out. And at the end of the night, behind your closed doors, we're not going to have somebody behind closed doors and you decide you're going to go off on somebody and be violent. That's what you portrayed in your relationships when you did that to Cassie, when you were being violent towards Jane Doe, and when you were being violent towards Gina, according to her, and that there's no way to police that or really watch and make sure that that won't happen. Just because you say it won't happen, and just because you're telling us you'll give us this amount of money, you up the ante for the bond amount, and you said you'll do this or abide by this, that still doesn't give us, that doesn't make us feel good about the violence that you admitted to during the trial, saying, yes, I did do those things, but that's not what I'm on trial for. So on that basis alone, just on that from trial, and from the July 2nd, 2025 hearing, the application is denied. The judge goes on further to say, even if the flight or danger requirement was satisfied, there are no exceptional reasons warranting a departure from what Congress has required. What Congress has required. So this judge is going strictly by the law. Combs's Mann Act arguments might have traction in a case that didn't involve evidence of violence, coercion, or subjugation in connection with the acts of prostitution as at issue, but the record here contains evidence of all three. So what he's saying right here, we can talk about it too in a little bit, but what he's saying is that he saw evidence during the trial of violence, coercion, and subjugation, even though that's not what he was on trial for. There was evidence that all three of these things happened at the hands of Combs. While Combs may contend at sentencing that this evidence should not be discounted, at that what happened was nothing more than a case of willing swingers utilizing the voluntary services of escorts for their mutual pleasure. The government takes the opposite view, that Kathy Ventura and Jane were beaten, coerced, threatened, lied to, and victimized by Combs as part of their participation in these events. That makes this case unlike any of the cases Combs points to and places it outside the narrow exception to detention that Congress otherwise deemed mandatory. To be clear, as indicated at the July 2nd hearing, the court offers no view to how the parties' competing arguments about the evidence will cash out for the purpose of sentencing, which is happening in just 60 days. At this junction, however, the record doesn't establish the kind of out of the ordinary exceptional circumstances requiring immediate release. So what he's saying right there is that just because I'm saying this right now, that, you know, according to Congress, what Congress requires, and according to this coercion and all of this evidence that we had during trial, don't think that I'm just please understand that he's not going to use this to make his decision on the sentencing, what he's going to sentence him to. Combs also points to squalor and danger at the Metropolitan public. Oh gosh, it looks like I froze. The public outcry concerning these conditions has come from all concerned. But as Combs acknowledges, MDC staff has been able to keep him safe and attend to his needs, even during an incident of threatened violence from an inmate. So they're saying, Combs is saying that even though he had been threatened by an inmate, that MDC staff had been able to keep him protected. And so that doesn't cause for mandatory release. He says that the court found that the condition of the MDC rose to the level of exceptional reasons, and where unique circumstances counseled release, including the defendant's advanced age and serious medical condition, which requires care that the MDC may not be able to provide. Those facts are not presented here, and nothing in Chavez suggests that exceptional reasons warrant release for every person awaiting sentencing in the MDC. Rather, the MDC is a factor, admittedly a serious one, to consider along with others in making that determination. For these reasons, as well as those stated on the record at the July 2nd hearing, Combs fails to satisfy the burden to demonstrate an entitlement to release. The motion for bail is denied. The clerk of court is directed to terminate. So ordered. August 4th, which was Monday, New York. So there you have it. Judge has denied him. So there's a couple of things to talk about in this. If I can get this off of here, there's a couple of things to talk about in this response. Hello, Corporate Luxury. Before I go on, thank you, Corporate Luxury, so much, and thank you for being here. Thank you, Rachel, for coming back. Welcome, everybody. Hello, welcome. Thank y'all for being here. Hope I didn't miss anybody. Hello to anybody that I didn't speak to as of yet. Corporate, I appreciate you. Thank you. And so listen, let's talk about it a little bit. So as far as what the judge is saying, there is no exceptional reason and it applies to what Congress says. So when I was listening to one of the attorneys, shout out to Simone, she made me understand what that meant, because I was like, what really does that mean, right? And so basically it just meant that Judge Subramanian, he's a federal judge, right? And Donald Trump can't come and just kick him out of office. So these federal judges, they are for lifetime almost, right? So they don't have to worry about if when it comes time to being for voting and to be reelected or whatever. So they're not a part of that. So what most federal judges do is they abide by the law, where if you go to state judges, they kind of swing, like they're kind of biased to one side or the other to get those votes and make them look good. So it depends, right? And so basically he's saying this is what Congress requires, and for the counts that you're guilty of, it requires that you be detained to sentencing, right? And so that's what he's saying there. When he says, this does pertain to what Congress says. And then he said, so even though you're giving up that you bumped it up to this $50 million bond request, and that you'll do anything the courts, request you to do or require you to do, that still is not a part or a reason for us to mandatorily let you out or have you released. And then he says that the judge himself, as I said earlier, the judge himself he's saying in his response that there was violence, there was coercion, they were lied to, just all in order for them to participate in the freak offs. And so he believes that, but he's also saying while that was something that was noted or that was believed to be true, don't think that when it comes to October 30th sentencing that I'm going to, take that and then sentence you to the 20 years or sentences you. I don't think that my sentencing is going to be because of the results of this denial of bail, because that's not what he's going to do. And so Simone also said that she thinks that what's happening is, so what happens is like for sentencing, then you go and they talk to the probation officers, right? And what the probation officers do for someone that's going to get out on probation or looking at probation is they go out. I can't do these glasses. They go out and they talk to your family, they talk to your friends. And Simone was like, they may even talk to Gina, but they talk to everybody and they ask about his character. They ask about, the help that he's getting. They'll talk to counselors. They'll talk to a lot of people. And so whatever that report comes back to judge and say, listen, we've talked to these people. We believe that, he's capable of this. We'll go ahead and give him probation, whatever, right? So she's thinking that what's going to happen is that he's going to abide by what, those reports say, rather than what they're requesting to get bond for, if that makes sense. And then he says, so we read where his attorneys responded and to the prosecution, and they kind of put out some case files, right, that were kind of similar to Diddy's, but not. Like one of the case laws were that this particular defendant had a medical issue. And this medical issue, and they're saying that was something that MDC could not handle. And that's why his immediate release was granted. Well, that's not here. That's not the case here. Sean Combs does not have this horrible medical diagnosis or medical issue that can't be handled through MDC. Another case law was that the staff was in previous years at 50%, like they were so short-handed, where today staff is at like 90-95%. So it's very much more staffed where people's safety are a little bit better, even though they show case laws where somebody just got stabbed. They still do have maybe not 100% staffing, but they have upped it. So they don't feel that Diddy is in danger, even when he was threatened by, and I didn't know he had got threatened. Like, I'm like, Simone, like, when did he get threatened? But he had gotten threatened by something. And then what his lawyers were saying, even when he got threatened, he did not retaliate. He did not indulge in it. He went on. So there's no violence there, right? But yet and still, it does not require or call for him to be immediately released. See what else? So basically, they referred to the Chavez release, right? Where that's when they talked about the medical stuff and the safety and all that. So right now, he says Sean Combs has no entitlement at this point. They could not prove at this point that he should be released on any of the things that they put in the response that he should be released. All right, your turn, Harlan.
Okay, so I just want to say there was an incident, I guess, about some violence against him or whatever by one of the inmates, but I thought that the lawyers said that the inmates were applauding for him when he came back.
Exactly.
So what happened that turned them?
Right. So I'm not, and that was what threw me off, because I don't remember hearing that he had been threatened before. And and they were trying to say that he was threatened by an inmate, but he didn't do nothing. He's not violent because he could have got violent or whatever. So I don't recall that. What I do recall blatantly, because that was a big deal, that the inmate, as he walked in, was applauding that he beat the RICO, because no one had ever done that.
Right.
Hardly ever beats a RICO charge, right? So I don't know who this inmate is that supposedly, allegedly threatened him, but that was part of what they were saying he needed to get out for.
Because usually when things happen, I don't know how, but TMZ has everything. They get everything. So they didn't get that story.
Right. Like, that's the number one thing. Why, if he got threatened, has TMZ not said anything about it? Because once that happened, they got on that phone and called TMZ. And TMZ has never mentioned the fact of, but they mentioned they applauded him as he came back. They talked about that. So I don't really know if that's true, but that's what they're saying. So I don't know. But again, he's just like, no, we just cannot allow you to get out of jail. He said in 60 days, we will visit this. We will see what the policies, what the laws are. We will go by. And they're saying that he's a lot. Some people are saying the Judge Subramanian judge is being biased. I see some YouTubers and I see people saying that he's being biased and against Diddy. But I would still say that I thought he was really fair throughout the entire trial. And I just feel like what he's doing now is he's just abiding by the law. He's looking at, what does the law say when somebody's in this situation? What does the law say if he's guilty for this and he was found not guilty for this, but this is the situation? What does the law say? And he's saying, according to Congress and their requirements, they're required to detain him up to sentencing.
See, I think that they're nervous that he's about to get a few years.
Yes.
Because why are they pushing so hard? It's like one behind the other to let him out on a bail, to let him out for this reason, for the kids, to let him out. It's like one behind the other. It's like, why? Are they trying to get him out of the country or something or whatever? That's how I'm looking at it now.
And so, and they're like, even they were saying, even with you saying that you will put up this $50 million bond, that still doesn't make us feel good in the fact that you won't flee, because you have that type of money to make it happen. So you can't say that you turn in your passports or whatever, and we're going to put this $50 million up, and we still are not comfortable saying that you will not flee. But his attorneys are coming back saying, but look, he beat the RICO, the biggest charge that would have kept him there for all of his life. And he came and showed up for that. Like, he didn't run from that. But I think Judge is looking at the overall picture of everything, and he's just going by the law. So
yeah,
that's basically what's happening.
And then outside of his relationships, he's violent.
Right. Yeah.
There's a history of violence with him for years outside of a relationship.
And, you have to look at everything, all the violence, not just with your relationships, right? Look at everything that you have been. I mean, that's what's happening. They're looking at everything that was presented in court. They are even looking at, the car bombing or whatever. They're looking at all of that, the kidnapping, like all of that. So he has so much up against him. And what really hurt him, hey, Claudette, welcome back. I think what really hurt him is during the trial when they mentioned he's not on trial for the violence. Yes, we see this video of Cassie. We see that, and yes, if he was on trial for that, he would be guilty. That's what they said in court. That if he was on trial for that, he would be guilty for being violent like that. So then that came back to bite him when he's trying to get bail, because, but you admitted that you was violent, and now you're saying you're not. What happened overnight? You're not violent. So yeah, that kind of hurt him. Now also, a lot of people are also saying that this letter had this letter that Gina's written that the lawyer attached that hurt him as well. That something's going to come down the pipe, that she could also be uh like possibly charged with something for lying to the government. So what do you guys think about that part of it? And did this letter help or hurt Diddy? Like they're saying, like, okay, I'm gonna say this. Tisa Tell say that she, according to her sources, that they're getting closer to seeing that he's bribing Gina and coercing her to say that to say these good things about her. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, it's a possibility. He's using Gina. I mean, we all could see that he's using Gina because Gina was supposed to be victim number 3. She backed out. Then she comes back and she's saying all of these positive things about him and what have you. I mean, it's obvious that she's taken whatever.
Yeah, it's
Even if she hasn't, even if she hasn't taken anything, he may have promised her
something.
we'll be together. Everybody else is gone. Jane is gone. Young Miami is gone. Anybody else is gone. It's just going to be me and you.
Yep. Yep. And it just like flipped. She just flipped. Like it was all bad. And now he's this amazing person. So something is going on. And you better believe that the prosecution, this is what I think, my opinion, is not going to let that go. They're going to dig into what's going on, what's happening here. Because that's not what you told us. And so they was like, well, she lied to us. And so she obviously lied to us, or she's lying now. Which one is it? And so I don't think the prosecution is just going to let that fly by. They're going to try to, because the prosecution is going to try to come up with everything they can to stop him from getting a lighter sentence. Now, Comey said before she left, like when they found him not guilty, we want to give him 20 years. We're sticking the 20 years. Now, whether the judge will do that or not, whether he even deserves that or not, that remains to be seen. Let's see. Beauty says non-celebrities better watch out when it comes to these fictitious laws. It may just land your way if you were to ever get in trouble. Absolutely. You just never know. You never know. So, Beauty, let me ask you this, Beauty. Do you feel like, and I want to ask Claudette the same. Do you guys feel that judges was safe? That he was fair during the trial? Do y'all feel like he was safe? Safe. Do y'all feel like he was fair, the judge? And do you feel like he's being fair by denying him for the reasons of what the law says? Or are you saying that he's making up the law? Like, I don't know. I feel like he sticks to the law. What do you guys think about that? Let me see who this is.
Yeah, I think that he's fair. I don't see where he's partial to either side.
I do too. I think that I just do. And even with these denials, I feel like he has gone. He was like, listen, go bring me some case laws. But the case laws that they're bringing is not, according to him, according to Puff's cases. Like they're not, they're not, they don't match, I guess, for lack of better words. And so it's just not getting it. And to Puff's lawyer's defense, they come with some real strong points. They do their job really well. It's just that this judge right here is sticking to the laws by the book. What does the law say by the book? That's what I see.
Yeah, because the Mann Act actually falls under the RICO, even though he wasn't found guilty of RICO. the Mann Act, then it wouldn't be a bail, right?
Right.
Because
So
RICO has no bail.
Rico has no bail. So, and that's where I get confused too, because I'm thinking, I wish I could talk to Simone. Like, yes, okay, we have the Rico, right? But then we have the Mann Act, and that's part of the Rico. How is it that you found not guilty for that, but then the Mann Act, which is under the Rico, you're not guilty? I don't know how that works, but it works.
Right.
So yeah, I think they celebrated a little too quickly, because he did get found guilty of something, and so now they're regretting. Like they're like, it just ain't turning out the way we thought. Because I really believe they thought he was going to come home, which we did too. And so I don't know. Diddy's case, it has to be severely threatened. Oh, okay. That I didn't say that part either. They was just like it. He was threatened, but nothing severe happened. I just don't know if he was threatened. I just don't know. Because why hasn't it publicly been said? So anyway, that was my take on. I really wanted to just touch on Carlos, and I really wanted to come and just talk about a little bit about this denial. And I'm not sure. Do you think that they will come back for another request to get out? I'm like, look, just don't. We said this last night, but I'm just wondering now, what are they thinking? What's next? Yeah,
Yeah, I think they should let the 60 days just play out.
I think you just let it play out, because you never know. Like, you could come back and it's like time served, no matter what, right? So you just at that point. But I know that he does have his appeal lawyers working already behind the scenes and ready to appeal a lot of this stuff. But it seems like they're being hard. The courts are being, the government is being hard on Puff. But he was found guilty for those things, and um according to the law, it says to keep him detained, and that's what he's doing now. Could the judge say go ahead and let him out? Yeah, he could, but he's not doing it. What did you say, Beauty? Claudette? Yes. So you think he had been fair the whole time? I do. I think he's been fair. I mean, if they were to let him out, what happens to the people who claims they're scared of him? I've known unalivers, that grape offenders, rug dealers get bail or have done less time. Me too. I heard. You're right. That's right. For example, I had a friend that sold rugs, and when she went to prison, her cellmate or whatever had unalived somebody, got 10 years, and the person that sold drugs got life. Like, that seems so backwards to me. That seems so backwards to me.
That's crazy.
It was in a state, it was a state case, and they say the state judges do what they want to. But she unalived somebody, got 10 years. You sold a couple people some rugs, and you got life because you've been in before on that count, on those same charges. What? That just don't make sense. But
Yeah,
ultimately,
that's crazy.
they gave her life without parole on it. Said she was a career drug, but she beat it. Like, I've never seen this either. She got in there and she worked her butt off, and they let her out. She got a story to tell.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was crazy how she got out, because they was like, lock her up, throw away the key for selling rugs. Yep. So I agree. That's right, Claudette. October the 3rd, we gonna see, and everybody's got their eye on it. Everybody's gonna be watching. And I'm gonna say this: at the end of the day, I just hope the right thing is done. Whatever it is, I just hope the right thing is done. I'm from Alabama. I know a lot of people that have. Yeah. It's just crazy. It's just the way that the court system is set up, especially when you got to go through a state court. They just do what they want to do. They make up their own laws. It's a mess. So I just don't get in trouble. Just don't get in trouble. So that's all I really had tonight. I just again thank y'all for being here. Anything else that you got, Harlem, or anybody in the chat want to talk about before we go tonight?
I was going to say the other question is, even though he said more than likely not, will the president step in? Because he said, it was said that he was waiting to see if they were going to allow him to get bail this time.
So listen, when he first talked about him getting bail, he said, it doesn't matter if somebody talks bad about you or not. If they're being done wrong, then I would consider giving them bail. Then he came back and was like, yeah, he talked really bad about me, like we were friends, and he said a lot of bad stuff. And so probably not. And now we're hearing today, well, I heard just today that he was waiting to see exactly what you said, Harlem, to see how this was going to go. And he did say also that the way he looked at it, he was like, he's partially being done wrong. But then there's another part that he was like, it's kind of crazy. This is what Donald Trump said. So he's partially like, he's not being treated right. And then on the other hand, he's whatever. And I'm just like, I feel like, no, what did she say? No force, coercion, or fraud is what she's saying. That's what Bunny feels. And so where was I? That threw me off. Yeah. So I feel like Donald Trump, I think it's a high probability that he would probably give him a pardon, Harlem, the way he's talking. Hey,
Yeah,
Bad.
we got to see how it plays out.
We just got to see how everything plays. Like you go to bed and wake up and it's something new. You just never know what takes place. They're even working on Sundays. You wake up and on Sunday, something has been filed. So you just never know. But at the end of the day, Donald Trump has that power to give him a pardon if that's what he want to do. He has the power and can't nobody stop that. So I was listening to a newscast and they were talking about Donald Trump and they was like, when is somebody gonna step in before there's no law and it's just Donald Trump laws? Like, when are we going to stop it? Like, when does it stop? You know, like this
Right.
is horrible, and that he gets to do anything he wants to do. He gets to be a president as a felon. He gets to pardon whoever he wants to pardon. He gets to fire whoever he wants to fire for no reason, no explanation. When does it stop? So just because he wants to, then he will. If Donald Trump wake up and get an inkling and say, I want to give Sean Combs a pardon, he will get a full presidential pardon. And you better know that his lawyers are seeking the pardon, so they are going to be reaching out to Donald Trump. It seems like they've tried everything they can and probably holding on to that last, like, this is my last resort. We got to go have this meeting with Donald Trump because
Right.
nothing else has worked. And so it just depends on that conversation that they have with Donald Trump, what the outcome will be. Because he is in his feelings about how Puff switched up on him. But
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if people talk about you or not, and you don't want your mind to be foggy when you make these decisions about somebody saying something about you. He's not being done right. We will consider it. Where is our boy tonight? He's like, I ain't gonna be able to do it tonight.
I don't know where he at.
No, he must have something to do. He might be asleep. He might be getting some rest. Didn't somebody tell him to get some rest?
Beauty.
Yeah, go get some rest.
Yeah, this is just going to be real interesting the next couple of months, even with Ghislaine Maxwell, what's going to happen with her.
With her, yeah. Because I think this close. I think she's this close. I believe with my whole heart of hearts that she's going to be pardoned. She's going to get out. I could be wrong, but I mean, at this point, I feel like that. I just think she does. She's gonna get out. She's not gonna do that whole sentence by no means. They found some other evidence where Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein had some charges against them earlier in the early years. And for some reason or some happened that they were thrown out. And it was had to do with underage girls. And they were in cahoots together. And whatever happened, whatever crazy happened, or whoever was paid, it was all thrown out. But see, you want to continue to say, you don't know, you wasn't a part of none of that. Like you didn't have nothing to do with nothing. But these girls were saying that allegedly, that Donald Trump took advantage of her. She was underage, and then told her, if you want the same thing to happen to Misty, whoever Misty was, then you talk. I have a lot of power and I can make things happen. And she said, and then Epstein turned around and violated her and told her the same thing. It shouldn't have been Donald Trump that stole your virginity. It should have been me. And I have a lot of power. And if you speak on it, you're going to wish you hadn't, because I'm the man, right? I was like, that is so bold. She spoke that. So that's allegedly.
Right.
But yet he has nothing to do with nothing. So you think, help me understand, Claudette, if they pay him, he'll pardon you? Or am I misreading that? What else we got in here? If I haven't spoke to you yet and you're here, hey y'all, happy Monday night. Hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the like. Keep us in the algorithm. Don't forget we're doing a giveaway on Friday night. So you want to be here Friday. Beauty said he probably needed that rest. Yeah. Montana took off tonight. He had to call in sick. He didn't make it tonight.
But he be looking for other people that don't show up.
Right. Talking about you gonna be put in timeout. You got a warrant for your arrest.
Right.
You gonna have a warrant for your arrest if you ain't here. Harlem, did Bird get her cash out? Do you know?
I don't know. She on vacation right now.
Okay. I wondered.
Yeah, she on vacation now. She on a cruise.
Okay. She's bold. I'm so scared. I want to go on a cruise so bad I'm scared.
I am too, but she got to do it.
I'm so scared. Ooh, of all that water. I love going to the beach and just watching the water from the sand. But to get on that big old boat in all that water, what if it storms? Oh Lordy. I'm scared. Beauty is Me says she already won. Whatever happens Friday, she's already the winner.
Who is that first in the chat tonight?
Josh. Hold on.
Josh. What was his name? Josh Joseph, or was it Joshua?
It was Joshua. I wrote it down. Joshua, you still here?
Joshua is going to beat Beauty.
Beauty's like, no, don't speak that into existence. But y'all join us here Friday. Well, of course, every day we're live, but Friday we're gonna have a little fun. So anyway, okay, Claudette. Yeah, I pay him. He'll pardon. So I can imagine what that conversation is, right? In that room, Diddy's lawyers, Diddy's legal team, Donald Trump, his people. I'm wondering, what does Vance say about you? I never hear nothing about Vance. Like, are you still the vice president? And what are your thoughts? Or are you just happy to be there? You just going with the flow? She said, watch your mouth, Harlem, about Josh winning.
But in actuality, he may want to talk to Puffy. He may want him to apologize to him. He might not be looking for no money. He might want an apology.
He might want a public apology. If they you need, I want you to publicly apologize to me. sign right here on the dotted line that's what you're gonna do.
Right.
Sign on this dotted line that if I pardon you, you gonna in front of the whole world say you sorry to me, and you do whatever I want you to do. Yeah. So I think we hit all points. Anything else that you can think of?
No, nothing else I have. Mm-mm.
All right. Well, y'all, again, thank you for being here. We're going to go for now, and we shall see y'all right back here tomorrow. I think tomorrow, if not tomorrow, definitely we'll be here Wednesday. Anything breaking, any information that you guys get, send it to Harlem or myself, send it our way. Other than that, y'all have a good night, and we will see y'all soon. Thank you for everything, everybody. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.